swinging from rooftops, whatever Batman does at night.
Yeah.
And I shoot for people like me who, wish they was rich. You could play Batman's alter ego, Bruce Wayne, and during the day, live the rich life.
There you go. As soon as you get home, you become the rich man.
Exactly. Might be a nice little escape for reality or whatever the case may be. But I feel like just that would sell a lot, even to people who probably wasn't into using the controllers, because with games now requires you the right stick, you're controlling the camera, the other stick, you're moving your character around.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that don't get in the game, and I'm like my wife. She doesn't play certain games because she's scared of the hand-eye coordination behind it. Like, I got to move the camera here just to move there. There's a lot of gamers who game where that's nothing to them. That's
right
gaming. But the average person, they're seeing that. They're like, whoa, what do I do now? Where do I go from here?
That's so true. On top of that, I remember the first time I went to this event and I seen a couple of gentlemen playing, I believe it was Overwatch, but they were playing on the keyboard. And I'm like, yo, how in the world are you doing? I mean, my man, his fingers look like Chris, but he was gaming. And I'm like, I couldn't even do some of those moves with a joystick. So definitely I can relate to a new person getting introduced to a controller, because I was that new person getting introduced to a keyboard. And I'm like, I didn't know how to do nothing. You talk about left, right. And I'm like, if I put the top arrow key, I go forward and I got to hit the other key to turn my head. And I'm like, it's too much for me. I'm good.
He was like, this is why I tap out.
Yeah. I'm like, this is why I tap out. So I got a random question for you. Mm-hmm. What was the strangest or most unexpected thing that's ever happened to you while gaming?
The strangest, most unexpected thing that ever happened to me while gaming.
Yep.
That is a very good question. I can't quite trying to think of all my gaming moments.
I mean, we could go with your most memorable one if you can't think of the strangest thing that's ever happened, but you could definitely hit us with the most memorable one, whatever pops in your head.
Okay, my most memorable gaming experience, I will say, was, and you know what? I guess it's my most memorable because it's probably my oldest.
Mm-hmm.
Terminator. They had a Terminator game for the Sega Genesis back in the day.
Okay.
And it was kind of like first person shooter. Mm-hmm. Difficult. And by back in the day, at the time, I was probably like 7, maybe 6, somewhere between like 6 and 8, somewhere in that realm.
Yeah.
And I'm just constantly going at this game, going at it. And then one day, I beat the first stage.
Nice.
And I was just telling my aunts and my uncles at the time I'm living with them, I'm just excited. And they're just looking at me like, wow, like, you make this seem like you just conquered the world. I'm like, I did.
Like,
the Terminator world now belongs to me.
Right. Oh man, that's too funny. But you know what is crazy, because the nostalgia of gaming, and I know you mentioned you have the gaming truck, but back then when you used to play game to now it's a business that you have running and everything like that. It just boggles my mind how much gaming itself, the nostalgia of it, is that you're never really too old to game, and it really never goes away, even though a lot of people are kind of talking about it right now. But, people like ourselves and a lot of the listeners who are probably out there, gaming's always been there. You know what I'm saying? It's not this new thing. So